Okay, I wanted to comment on a update from the Sandy Hook shooting article that I was reading, where they say that Adam Lanza was trying to beat Anders Breivik, who was the Norway shooter from I think 2011. You know, CBS I guess had cited sources that said that there was information found that Adam Lanza was in a competition. Later on in the article, state police said that that was pure speculation. But this is just another one of the examples as I've been watching uh, over the course of the past couple of months, that information that gets floated out there. And it's really the problem with this entire uh, situation from the start. There's false information floated. I mean, really, if you look at a lot of the headlines of that day, the headline was Adam Lanza emulating Norway shooter, uh, everything of that nature, and it's just the damage is done already when you put that kind of information out there, and it's purely speculation. Sources were cited. It was most likely the same sources that said that he was in an argument at the school the day before, and that was untrue. The same sources that said his brother was the shooter, and that was not true. The same sources that said the law enforcement officials that said that the father was killed or there was a body in a New Jersey apartment, and of course that wasn't true. The list just goes on and on, but once again, the damage is done, and the image is placed into the media, and most folks just get their little snippet, and they say, "Oh well, he was trying to emulate the Norway killer. That's why he did it." The fact of the matter is, they have absolutely no motive at this point in time. There is no motive for this being done, and they're scrambling because the strategy is to stretch it out as long as they can, continue to pound through the same story, and hopefully folks just believe it. I don't claim to know exactly what happened. All I do know is that the story that's been told is the narrative that's been put out there is definitely got a lot of problems with it. One of the major things that folks need to consider here is the misinformation from the very start of this entire episode. Anybody who's followed this thing from the start can very clearly see that there's been misinformation put out there. Another part of the article had been talking about the fact that they made a big deal from the very start that Adam Lanza was a gamer. He was a gamer. You know, tens of millions of homes throughout this country and the world will qualify as that. There are plenty of folks sitting around in their basement playing games, and to draw the conclusion that this was some uh, result of a video game is just complete nonsense, total speculation. And if you're going to say that that's caused it, then there's probably a couple tens of millions of potential suspects sitting out there right now. Um, One of the other articles that they've floated out there was the just the fact that you know as far as what I'm calling government propaganda here, once again, that the exploitation of these children. A major strategy throughout history is to include children. Once you bring children into the picture, all of a sudden they feel like there's a green light to go ahead and say or do whatever they want to do because it's all in the name of children. The fact of the matter is, I don't know how many folks died in this whole thing. The facts just aren't out there, but it's an example of the way that things are done in this country. We're out there giving honors, we're giving citizen honors to these teachers, and they may deserve the honor, but I mean, do we give an honor to somebody before an investigation is done? And we have no idea what happened in this thing. I mean, the information's not out there in the public. I think it's pretty irresponsible to be throwing awards out there. It's, no disrespect to the families, but there should be an investigation report, so that it can be looked at uh, by folks, and determinations made. I saw another article where one of the law enforcement folks said, this isn't a whodunit. Well, why isn't a whodunit? It should be a whodunit. There's really no reason to listen to the story that was put out there and not take any other story. The information needs to be reported on, right? And a report needs to come out to draw any conclusions. Until that happens, this continued propaganda effort really needs to be held off on. I mean, throw a gag order out there. A gag order is to prevent information from being disclosed to folks, and in most cases, to prevent the truth from coming out. All right, there are so many inconsistencies here. The major media has just been non-existent. They refuse to report on it, and we've been down this road before. All right, when you've been duped before, the precedent that's set here with a country that hasn't even given the folks that died in 9/11 the dignity of a true investigation. That's one of the things that's amazing, is that we're all living in this kind of false society right now. Everything's built on lies. Our leaders are trying to tell us that 2 planes brought down an entire complex of buildings, when science clearly proves that couldn't have happened, and just plain old common sense proves that couldn't have happened. Evidence ignored, rush to pass laws. Once again, there should not be a single law getting passed now until the facts have come out on this case. And at this point, the facts are not there. When are they going to come out? I don't know. I guess they're waiting until the laws are passed. But this kind of rushing is just ridiculous. I mean, you had the folks in New York rushing to pass a law, and then all of a sudden they rush to pass a law. Of course, these brainchilds here with this legislation don't even stop to think about things, and they pass a law, and then they find out, oh, you know what? It's illegal for police to carry their guns. So they've got to pass an amendment to the law, or before the thing even goes into place, they've got to amend the thing, it's kind of really an example of the way this government works. They try and use these crisis situations to their advantage, and they rush to put things out there without even thinking about it. There should be a period of review. President Obama, one of the things in his campaigning was that he promised the American people before passing any laws that there'd be a review period. People would have 5 days to review anything before he signs any legislation. And these folks now in Congress, they're not even reading the bills, and they're passing them. It's just common sense stuff. I mean, anybody who looks at what's happened with this situation can tell that it's completely being exploited for the gun control agenda. Really, a lot of the interviews that I've seen, I'd really even have to question the timing of them, when they were done. I mean, you look at some of those interviews that were done with the folks within 24 hours of it happening, or 48 hours, and I mean, I don't. To me, that could have been filmed at any time. The smiles and the looks, it just didn't look good. So, anyway.